Environment and Climate Change Canada is changing how it warns you about severe weather. The department launched its new color-coded weather alert system. This will issue yellow, orange, or red alerts based on how severe weather and how the severe weather event is expected to affect a region. For more on the changes, we're joined now by Jim Prime, warning preparedness meteorologist at Environment Canada. Great to have you on the show.
Morning.
So why is now the right time to make this change?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. One is that we're always trying to modernize our warnings and make them more relevant and useful for Canadians to be able to prepare for weather events. And it also fits with the World Meteorological Organization to shift more towards impact-based warnings and not just say, here's a threshold that we're going to meet. For example, 15 centimeters of snow within 24 hours. We're switching more to what does that mean on the ground? What can people expect from that kind of weather? And get away from just rigid thresholds in case there are other environmental factors. As you just mentioned, we're having a storm now, another one coming. Does that first storm still impact cause some impacts for the second storm because we're still cleaning up from it? We're adding more and more snow to a region. So it's really just our way to modernize and improve our warnings to help prepare for these weather events.
Okay, Jim, take us through. How do you determine what warrants a yellow, orange, or red level?
Yeah, so people are very familiar with our warnings, which are normally red before, and watches, which are yellow. Now we're saying that watches or warnings still can be issued. So watch means get prepared, heads up, something could be coming. Warning means something is imminent or occurring. But now we're adding yellow, orange, and red to those different levels. And so a yellow warning means that we're going to be having moderate impacts. Orange warning means we're going to be having high impacts. And a red is extreme. And there's also a component which means we're adding confidence to it. So if we're getting a red level warning, this means we're expecting extreme impacts from it, and we have a very high confidence. Other warnings can be a combination of confidence or impact, and all that information is on our website. We use a matrix which is able to say, what is the confidence that we have in this weather event, and what are the expected impacts that we would get from that?
And a reminder for our viewers, weather.gc.ca is the website. That's where you'll find all of this information. Jim, other places in the world, we know this, use a tiered alerting system. Where else do we see models like this?
Yeah, we have examples in Europe, and like I said, this does follow the World Meteorological Organization directive on switching to more impact-based. So we're basing that on things that have already been tested in other regions. This is new for us, a really big change. So there probably is going to be a little bit of a learning curve. People are going to be, I'm sure, with the first warnings that went out yesterday. What does this mean? Yellow, orange, what can I understand from this? And so we just say, look at the full text. You'll be able to see what our impact level is, the confidence and explanation of timings, what you can expect from the weather event. And as we go forward through more and more storms, I'm sure people will get more comfortable and it'll be better able to give information for what we can expect from these events.
Yeah, I will certainly say yellow fog yesterday caught a lot of people off guard. The fog itself, not yellow. This will be old hat by next summer. Jim, Environment Canada is saying these new alerts are going to make it easier to understand the threat that weather events can pose. How will you, on your end, measure whether this new system is doing that, whether Canadians are actually understanding?
Yeah, what's really great about this system is that it does give us a little bit more flexibility. As I said before, if we said 15 centimeters of snow within 24 hours, we would look at reports and say, yes, that was met, or no, it wasn't. But if something was just under that criteria, say 10 centimeters, but again, we just had a storm that went through and now we're seeing impacts from that, then we're going to be discussing it with our partners, the emergency management partners, Transport Canada, Health Canada, Public Safety Canada, and we'll be able to say, yes, this event did have a moderate impact, a high impact, or extreme impact. And we have some examples. One that's really notable for Ontario, Quebec, 1998 ice storm. We're still talking about that over 25 years later. So when we have some of these events, Hurricane Fiona in the Maritimes, Snowmageddon from 2023 in St. John's, where they got 100 centimeters of snow within 24 hours, we're going to be able to talk to our partners and say, you know, how did we did? What can we learn for the next storm? And hopefully, as we're moving forward, we're getting better and better at being able to communicate what these different storms can produce. And it's different for if we issue a, say, snowfall warning before 15 centimeters, but we're expecting 100. Well, that's much different than a regular storm giving us just 15 centimeters. So now we have the ability to say, no, this is possibly a red or an orange warning, and you really need to take this one much more seriously. You can still get impacts from the yellow warnings, but orange and red is a different kind of storm and more impactful than, say, those yellow warnings.
Well, we're already seeing them this morning here on our show and with the storm happening in Ontario and Quebec. Jim Prime, we appreciate your perspective this morning, warning preparedness meteorologist at Environment Canada. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.